guys, it's me. It's been a while since I've been on here, but so much has been going on in life. The first thing is I really became a runner. I know y'all probably remember I made a short not too long ago, or in the beginning of the year, talking about how I was gonna run a 5K every month for the year 2025. I have been doing that. We're currently in August, and I have ran a 5K race every month, but that kind of catapulted me into running a 5K every other week, to every other day, to running 5 miles every other day, to now I run 10 miles every other day and half marathons on the weekends. I started running half marathons, 5K races, and just in general becoming a for real runner girl. So that's new. I started also learning Swedish. And because of my running, I decided that I was going to go back to Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, to run a full marathon. I haven't ran that distance yet, so I'm excited about that. And I do plan on brushing up on my Portuguese. But before I do that, I want to really lock in on my Spanish and have a solid foundation of Spanish because, like I said, the last time when I went to Brazil, when I came back, my Portuguese and my Spanish was mixing together and I really was getting confused with my Spanish. So I want to build a stronger foundation until the end of the year, until next year on my Spanish, and then start practicing my Portuguese maybe a couple months before I go back to Brazil. I started learning Swedish because I have a coworker who speaks Swedish, and I just thought it would be cool to talk to him in his language. I use Pimsleur for that. And I could say that it's okay for me to learn Swedish and Spanish at the same time because they're not in the same category of languages. I want to say that Swedish is a Nordic language and Spanish is a Romance language. So they're not a bunch of words that to me make it very confusing when I'm learning the languages. I do say it's a little bit difficult sometimes learning through Pimsleur because Pimsleur is the same app that I use to learn Portuguese, and sometimes the prompt is the same for the Swedish conversation as it is for the Portuguese conversation, meaning the man will ask, how do you say excuse me in Swedish? And when I hear that, I think that I want to say it back in Portuguese. So that makes it a little bit difficult. But other than that, I don't think it's a problem for me to learn those two languages at the same time. Also, a big life change. My aunt who lives with me, she ends up having a fall, and that kind of changed the trajectory of my life as well as her life. When she had her fall, she ended up having to have spinal surgery. She didn't regain her ability to move around since that fall. She's basically been bedridden. That happened in November of 2024. And she has kind of moved into hospice at this time. So that is something that kind of slowed down my progress and some of the things that I'm doing. I mean, I'm still doing those things, but there are times where I have to focus and do what I have to do to help with my family. I would encourage anybody who's out there listening, I know this is just a little side note, but if you have people that are getting of a older age or your parents and things like that, I would really encourage them to work on building muscle, balance exercises, hand-eye coordination, anything like that. I would really encourage those elders that you have in your life or your parents or just the people that you know that are getting up there in age to focus on strength training, building muscle, having coordination and balance, because a fall can change your life and it is very serious. It could be as serious as my aunt's situation or worse, because some people die from things like that. So I would really encourage you guys to speak to those individuals that are getting up in age and encourage them to build muscle, hand-eye coordination and balance, as well as talk to their physician on what they could do to improve those things, whether it be getting occupational physical therapy to make sure they're strengthening themselves and they have the muscle that it needs, that they need to basically survive. Outside of that, I'm gonna be on here reading again. I just want to get back into reading my books. I haven't read my regular books like that or my Spanish books like that, but I want to get back into practice my reading and my grammar on here just as a source of accountability. I can't stand that it's been so long since I've been on here, but I'm excited to get started again.